Good morning, and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. I'm continuing, and hopefully we'll finish the story of Houshkanete and Weeani. Now, you might remember that Houshkanete had been dancing. Weeani had been playing her flute and instructing him. And as she's playing, Houshkanete is spinning round and round, switching directions. And he's beginning to dig this hole, and down he goes. And then Weeani stops and won't go on. Houshkanete wants her to, because now he's kind of gotten into the whole thing. And she says he needs a partner. It takes him a while, but he realizes he has a bag full of partners. And when Weeani says to switch partners, he throws off one animal and pulls another one out of the bag. This goes on and on and on until there's no more animals in the bag. And by this time, Houshkanete has gone pretty deeply into the earth. And Weeani tells him to wait right there. And Houshkanete's upset. He doesn't have a partner. He can't continue. So Weeani says, wait there. She's going to go get partners for him. She runs to the village. She tells everybody what's going on now. I can tell you that a huge crowd surrounds her because everybody knows of Houshkanete. And they're all afraid of him because, he makes animal stew. And he's very happy to have some new spicy ingredient to throw in there. Well, Weeani convinces a good crowd of people to come and to bring with them any implement that they can that will help move earth. Now, as Houshkanete went down further and further, this pile of earth began to build up around the hole. And they get back there, look down, and Houshkanete is down in that hole, and all he's got is an empty bag. He's kind of looking up, and now you might think this is kind of cruel what happens next, but they begin to fill in that hole so quickly that, well, if Houshkanete had been a little more on top of it, maybe he would have been able to climb out of that hole as they filled it in. But instead, it began to bury him. Soon his legs were covered up and buried, and soon his torso was covered. He couldn't move. His arms got covered up. His head got covered up. And then they began to throw some rocks in on top and more dirt, and pretty soon Houshkanete is just pretty buried. All the animals that he threw out, of course, have run quickly back to the forest. And once everybody was jumping up and down on top of the hole where all the dirt had been thrown in, that celebration tonight, I can guarantee you, it was as good a celebration as you could ever have imagined, for everyone was happy to think that Houshkanete had finally been vanquished. Now, people that have a good heart, they are always thinking about the best for others. And often they end up doing things, even without knowing it, that are kind of almost miraculous events and help other people out in the process. How much I wish I could be that. Just something that I would do would actually make life better for somebody or some animal, something. Well, it just seemed like Weeani had happened upon a wonderful thing with Houshkanete. Here he is down in the earth and buried deeply in the earth now. And an amazing thing happened. Well, one, there was a great celebration. Everybody went in, and I think the celebrating was like nothing that had ever happened before, because there was a great relief in thinking that Houshkanete had been, well, put to rest, so to speak. But amazing things happen, and you have to remember that Houshkanete was like a living, moving tree. He was like half plant. And plants take their nourishment by being in the earth. Oh, something amazing began to happen, and Houshkanete seemed to make enough room in the dirt that was around him to begin to burrow through it. He clawed at the earth in front of him with those terribly dirty fingernails and pushed the dirt behind him as he moved forward. And an amazing thing began to happen. He began to burrow his way through the earth. And because he was part animal and part plant, it seemed he was able to exist on that mineral soil that was down there. His body began to change and was perfectly content with eating minerals and dirt. Now, Weeani and the whole village, again, that celebration was incredible. And the delight that people had in thinking that Houshkanete was gone was, well, amazing. They felt like no longer would they have to worry about their children or even themselves losing their lives to that terrible monster. And I can tell you that though Houshkanete was gone, there was something new to remind them that Houshkanete existed and was real. Now, what is that something? Turns out that Houshkanete began to burrow through the earth, and, well, whenever he would get to a big rocky area, he would begin to bang his head against that rock. And as he did, it created earthquakes. Now, you might think funny, but Houshkanete travels around underneath that earth quite a bit, and he runs into rocks. And when he does, wherever he is, that's what turns into an earthquake. Now, here in California, I think maybe he's somewhere else and has been for a while, because there hasn't been an earthquake here of any significance for a while. But he's been busy in other parts of the world, and from what I've heard, he travels all around the earth, burrowing, running into rocks, setting off little, well, mini earthquakes here and there. Next time you feel an earthquake, you might want to thank Houshkanete and realize that, well, he's down there banging around to this very day. And it's a good thing that he is. Well, as far as I know, people of that village are living quite happily today, and Weeani continues to play her flute, celebrations all over the place. Maybe you can hear one of her concerts one day. And maybe the next time you feel an earthquake, you'll go, oh yeah, the Houshkanete monster. Okay, thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed this story.